Top 5 rapwebsite.com. You already know what's going on. Today we got CD of the week at number 7, Daytona by Pusha T. So this was actually my 2018 album of the year. And go check out that list that I compiled if you have not already. I think it's over 100 albums from 2018 that I ranked and listened to. 2018, if you follow this channel, you know that's one of my favorite years for music in general. 2018 to me is up there with in hip hop for 1996, 93. What are those classic years? 2018 is one of those years. This is a very strong year for releases, and Daytona ended up coming out on top. Now, if you ask me my favorite album from that year, now after years have passed, I will probably have a different top 5 just in order. But the albums in that top 5, top 10 are going to be the same. Very great projects that year. Nipsey Hussle Victory Lap, Swimming by Mac Miller. So many good albums, and it seemed like every other week something great was coming out. 2018, you had albums that landed in that were amazing albums, but were ranked like 15 to 25 just because there were so many other great albums. Any album in that top 30 could have ended up being album of the year in a normal year, but 2018 was just one of those years. And I think the reason why Daytona stood out so much during 2018 was because of what Pusha T was doing. If Pusha T had just dropped this album and walked away, or just dropped it and nothing else happened that year, it may be ranked a little lower than what it is. But I think the hype and the story surrounding what was going on with Pusha T at the time in 2018 definitely adds to the allure of Daytona. So if you remember, just put on your, I know it's 2021, but just go back 3 years ago and you'll remember Kanye West doing his 7-song EP series. So he did KTSC by Tiana Taylor, he did Kids See Ghosts, he did the Nasir album. Daytona was one of those 7-song albums. Short, sweet, concise, and in my opinion, the best album of those 7-song albums of them all. It's certainly better than the Nasir album. To me, it's better than Kanye's Ye album. It's better than KTSC. It's better than Kids See Ghosts. You remember that Pusha T had a lyrical beef with Drake. So 2018 was the same year that the story of Adidon came out. And no one had ever seen an MC take on Drake that effectively. We had seen Drake in rap beefs before with Common or with Meek Mill, but Drake just tossed him aside, like he finished him off easily. It hadn't seemed like those MCs were going as hard as Drake as they could have, and I know a lot of people wanted to see that. So for Pusha T to finally do it, story of Adidon, and then Daytona, album of the year, he says this at the end of the story of Adidon track. Pusha T was red hot on top of what his label head Kanye West was doing. It was just a red hot year for Pusha T. Let's take a look at this album. Pastel, pink theme. I also have the vinyl of this record too. So again, I put it as my album of the year 2018. You ask me today, I might say Nipsey Hussle Victory Lap was album of the year 2018, but the top 5, top 10 is pretty much going to be the same. Those were all amazing albums, and those were all ranked at the time. I didn't go back and re-rank anything. I actually felt that Victory Lap by Nipsey was a top 5 album when it came out. I actually said it was a classic, regional classic when it came out. This is before Nip died. I actually ranked Mac Miller Swimming as one of the best albums that year. It was my album of the year for a long time until all these other great albums started coming out. So none of this was done in retrospect, deriding because of death. And that's one thing that I'm also very proud about my 2018 list for. I feel like I got a lot of great albums on there, and I listened to a lot of sleepers. So anyways, track listing. If you know, you know. The Games We Play, Hard Piano featuring Rick Ross, Come Back Baby, Santeria, What Would Meek Do, Infrared. Nice short 7 songs. And if you watch this channel, you know for certain artists, especially like a Pusha T, but I've mentioned this in my Elzai review, I've mentioned this in my Boldy James Bo Jackson review. Certain rappers who are very wordy and kind of just have one similar style and or one content that they talk about, over the course of a 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 song, 45, 50 minute, 55 minute, an hour long album, they become tiring to listen to, especially if they only have one style. And Pusha T definitely can rap about different topics, but his flow is or especially his delivery and his content doesn't really change up too much. You're gonna get the cocaine raps, you're gonna get the break talk, the chicken talk, and you're gonna get a very familiar delivery. So for a nice short 7-song album, that's perfect length for Pusha T. There's no room for error, and there is no error on this project. I think the best song on the album, in my opinion, is If You Know, You Know. Great beat, great intro, pulling up in that rude boy, you know what I'm saying? Quotables all throughout. That's perfectly placed on the album as the intro, and in my opinion is a 5-star song. If You Know, You Know, it's a 5-star track. It doesn't get much better than that. Probably Pusha T's best song, certainly the best song I've ever heard from Pusha T, and that includes the clip songs. Very signature song. If you want just one song that encapsulates what Pusha T is, what he does, If You Know, You Know. So yeah, man, Pusha T Daytona. I have the CD, I have the vinyl. It was my 2018 album of the year. And honestly, if I were to rate this album out of 5 stars, I would give this album 5 stars. Like, this is a great album, 4.5, 5 stars. I give it 5 stars, man. It's only been 3 years, so it hasn't really been able to age as much, but it has aged. And I can go back to this, and I listened to it all the way through. Again, it's only 7 songs, so little room for error, but not so short to where I feel uncomfortable saying it's better than an album that's a little bit longer. There's enough content on here to keep you, and it's not short enough to where it just feels like an EP, or you feel like, where's the rest? It definitely makes you feel like you want more, but it's a perfect length for Pusha T. Pusha T's best album. Clips, non-clips, mixtape, non-mixtape. This is Pusha T at his best. Daytona. And that was CD of the week number 7. And shout out to Pusha T, shout out to Good Music, Kanye West, and be sure to subscribe if you have not already. This is top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.